Hi, I'm Melissa and this is Michu. She was our original rescue and rehome. We rescued her November 2013. And as you can see, she's a very, very sweet Moluccan. She is about 30 years old and she can talk up a storm. Say hi. Michu's situation, she was owned by a couple that got her as a baby, her along with another bird, and they were kept in a cage in the driveway. They were not allowed inside. They were not handled often. The owners couldn't handle the screaming, the mess that they made. And we got a call to come up and take a look at the birds. And it was heartbreaking. All the sides of the cage were covered in plywood so that the bird had no access to light, no access to fresh air, no access to rain. Cockatoos love to bathe. So in rescuing Michu, we got her out of a situation where she could have eventually become a plucker. She could have turned in that direction. And for a 30-year-old bird that hasn't started plucking yet, it's a miracle. When Michu came to us, she was classified as a biter, a screamer, a problem bird. When I got her home, I took her out of the carrier and she crawled into my lap and she laid her head down and she wanted me to scratch under her wing. Cockatoos are extremely affectionate. I saw no aggressive behavior in this bird. And since the time of rescue, she has become one of the best affectionate birds that we can socialize with people and not have a fear of her biting. I have actually been working with birds for about 30 years. And I have done everything from having my own first little parakeet to breeding to rescuing. And there is a big need for rescuing and rehoming on this island. There are a lot of birds, especially cockatoos, conures, other birds that are considered loud, and they needed a resource. And so myself, along with a friend of mine, we decided that we were going to offer the people of Oahu a way to have that resource available to them. We started Hawaiian Feathered Friends as a way to have an outreach program for people that wanted to rehome their birds, have a safe place for them to go. We try to first keep every bird with their owner because it's I know. Michu. Anything else? We try to keep people with their birds. That's our main goal. We offer them some advice, support, basic training. Michu. Some basic training techniques, how to curb screaming and biting. We work with a couple of different people who use applied behavior analysis. The plan for the future is to get as many people on Oahu, as many bird owners on Oahu involved in not only just a social meeting or an informational meeting, but get them involved in getting the word out there about, proper ways to handle these birds so that they're not constantly being rehomed. Rehoming birds on Oahu has become a huge problem. Breeding large cockatoos, breeding large macaws, breeding large birds for the pet trade, they become like teenagers, toddlers when they hit a certain age, and without the proper information, people take their first recourse that they can think of, which is rehoming them. I'd like to see that change. I'd like to see more people seek out information to correct the behavior and work with their bird and show that bird the love that it deserves versus having to rehome it, because we get birds sometimes that are on their third, fourth, fifth home, and it's not fair to the animal. Work with your animal. Put the effort in love into working with your bird and make it a forever pet, because these birds, some large like this, can live 80 years old, and that's a lifetime commitment. If you don't think you can do it, then maybe rethink owning one of these beautiful creatures. We get calls frequently. Right after the holidays is a big time for rescues to come. It's right around that age where a bird is going to reach its hormone level, right before breeding season, and that's usually when we have the most complaints from people that they need to find a new home for their bird. I'd like to say, do your homework. Research the species that you're interested in and find out if that bird is a fit for you and your family before you put the bird through the hardship of having to gain your trust, gain your love, and then be given away, because it's not fair. Right, Michu?
Hi, this is an African gray. His name is Simba, but I call him the Obama bird. His specialty is laying on his back like this, sucking on his toes. But he's a gentle bird. He trusts me. I can do almost anything. Under the leg, around the leg, around, over. Balance on the head trick. Ta-da! But he actually likes it. Woo! If he didn't like it, he'd be biting me. Woo! Simba. Woo! Woo! Hi, my name is Bruce, aka the Bird Guy. This is Sky. He's a Hyacinth Macaw, the blue macaw, same bird that's on Rio. And I tell people he's a $15,000 bird, which is about basically the going price nowadays. He loves macadamia nuts, but this is an imitation macadamia nut. You can break those macadamia nuts in a heartbeat. But that's a, what kind of nut is that? That's a hazelnut, I think, but anyway. But he's a good bird, heavy bird. He's about 10 pounds. And he had a broken leg not too long ago, and I took him to Kauai to have him fixed. And the Aloha vet, the barefoot vet, he fixed him up in in minutes without surgery. Put his bones back together again. But his name is Sky. He's a Hyacinth Macaw. He's a great bird. The gentle giant. But they're endangered. It's an endangered bird. There's breeders on the island that's trying to breed these guys. They're almost impossible to breed. But they're very hard to breed because they need everything perfect for them. Space is mainly. But they just got to stop people from stealing them from the wild, you know, letting them multiply like the eagle. Probably live your whole life. So they just gotta have a make that commitment that they're gonna have this, or expect to have this bird for a long, long time. But because these birds can live 100 years. Okay, but the bigger the bird, the older they can get. Small birds, they'll last maybe 20 years. African gray, maybe 60 years. And they gotta eat too. They can be expensive to feed them, but they'll eat anything. The birds are my life, so I'm gonna have them for the rest of my life. I do it basically on my own. I don't have too many helpers. Nice to have though. This is a rescue bird. This was somebody's bird from hell, and he happened to be like my favoriteest birds, you know. Could do almost anything. Great with kids, you know. Any kids can go on and squeeze him, and he just will not bite this bird. Incredible.
What type of bird is that?
It's an umbrella cockatoo. Umbrella cockatoo. Well, he came from a couple that had other birds too, and this guy, he didn't care for the other birds at all. He'd break out of the cage and just destroy their house, and it bit them, and it screamed nonstop. This guy hardly utters a word or a sound. You change the environment, you change the bird. I say that all the time. Unbelievable, yes. This guy's basically the best talker. African gray. Woo! Say I love you? But these guys can talk, few words, but these are the better ones. The Amazons are another good one. But those guys tend to like to bite, and they're usually one-person birds. But everyone that owns an Amazon has half their lip missing, maybe an ear gone, scars all over their fingers. Nasty birds. They're the reason why pirates got patches on their eyes. This is the new pirate bird. Don and Jep. They're more docile, more friendly. And he lays down like a baby.
They're quite friendly with each other. How
Not necessarily. Just coincidental. They're just being good for the camera. Just being good for the camera. Okay, this is a sun conure. This is a gende. You mix the two together, you get one of these. What's a good name for that? Well, what would that be called? It's called a Sunday. A sun conure and a gende. A Sunday. Right there. Yeah, it's a hybrid type bird. It's a lot better. Better natured, better, less squawkers. Oh, sorry. But they complain.
So hi, I'm part of the Hawaiian Feathered Friends Network. My mom is actually a co-founder for it, and I've spent a lot of time doing this as my senior project. I spent a whole year, over about 120 hours, working with these birds. Personally, I've rescued this little bird right here. She's a bare-eyed cockatoo. Her name is Bubbles. She's about 35 to 40 years old. Her owner couldn't take care of her anymore. She has a severe medical condition, so we try to just take care of her the best we can. This bird is special to me. She was my first rescue ever. And it was a life-changing experience for me, because before that it was kind of just something my mom did, and I was like, okay, she works with birds. But I got this bird and I helped it. I started giving it food, give it water, and then one day she talked to me. She's just changed my life so much. She's always there for me when I need her, and I just love her so much. This bird is in love with bananas, and I didn't know. I was trying out different fruits and vegetables with her, trying to get her to eat something, and I gave her a banana. I left her alone for a little bit, and I came back and her whole entire beak was covered in bananas, and she was laughing and she was having a good time. And I went up to her, and that was the first time that she called me Bubbles. She thinks my name is Bubbles, so she'll look up at me and she was like, Bubbles, and I was like, oh. And so ever since then I've given her a banana as a treat whenever she needs cheering up, and so it's kind of a back and forth. She makes me feel better, I make her feel better.
My name is Laurie Bennett, and this is Dennis Bennett, and he gets to hold all the birds today. So this is Hoku. He is our Catalina macaw. He has been sexed, and he is also microchipped. He is a cross between a scarlet macaw and a blue and gold. This is Lola, and she is one of our rehomed rescues. So she's completely naked. So as you can see, she has a sock body on, and she is about 30 years old. Thank you for understanding what I'm saying. This is our baby. He's about 3 months old. He is also a blue and gold. He has also just recently been sexed, so we do know that he is a male. This is Chaka. He is also another blue and gold that we rehomed, and he's approximately 15 years old. And Hoku, by the way, is about 3 years old.
And we have
We also have a citron cockatoo that is about 15 years old that we chose to leave at home today. All of these birds are part of the flock and they more or less consider us part of the flock. The baby has been a little challenging with the rest, but Lola, our 30-year-old, we didn't even know she wanted a baby, so she has taken care of all of the baby duties.
My name is Seth Souza. This is my red-sided Voss Marine mix eclectus. Her name is Akahai, and Akahai is 11 years old. She originally came from a breeder on Kauai, who has had many litters, or I guess litters is not really the right thing, but many clutches of babies. I actually had her son for a little while, and we actually lost him due to an accident. But Aka and her mate kind of had a falling out, so the breeder wanted to find her a nice, happy new home, and she actually went to my dad for a little while, and then she came to me. So I've had her for about a year now. I've been with Hawaiian Feathered Friends since they started, you know, and just trying to spread awareness, teach people just about birds in general, and just, you know, make people aware that birds are wonderful companions and family members to have, but that, you know, it takes a lot of work, you know. I mean, like any other thing you're going to take on, but greater than that, because a bird it's a lifelong commitment in a sense, you know. I mean, the lifespans on these things 30, 40, 50 plus years. So, you know, being a part of the club, it's been very interesting to have conversations with people that have never had exposure to birds before, and they come up and they see all these beautiful animals and they're like, oh, you know, and it's easy to get excited about something and you're like, I want one like that, you know. But being responsible and telling them too that, you know, it's wonderful to have a family member, you know, that's a bird, but, you know, it's a lot of work. Taking care of their diet, just different type of interactions, you know, with the dog, you can pet them and they're generally happy and play around with them, but, you know, a bird they have a different type of intelligence, and in that, you know, you have to cultivate and work with them and train with them in a much different fashion. And, you know, even when they're misbehaving, you can't discipline them the same way that you can a dog or a cat. You know, with a bird, it's all about how you talk to them, or curbing that behavior with timeouts and behaviors like that. So, you know, I actually haven't had birds for very long myself. I definitely grew up around birds on and off, but I've only actually had my own parrot for about 2 years total.
Hi, I'm Leah, and this is Bubba, my major Mitchell's cockatoo. He is a very rare type of cockatoo. We don't usually see him in Hawaii, and actually not much else anywhere. They live in Australia, and they're kind of getting a little bit endangered. They're not really like totally threatened, but oh, there he goes. But they are starting to decrease in numbers. And so Bubba was kind of a special bird. I found him on Kauai and had to bring him here to Oahu. Yeah, so Bubba is 14 years old, and I got him from a family that kind of didn't think he was quite as cuddly as they wanted him to be, but I think he's perfect. He's quite a ham, likes to show off, likes to say peekaboo a lot. Birds are awake during the daytime hours, so from sun up to sundown. And so if you're not going to be home for most of the day until nighttime, by the time you get home, the bird is going to be sleeping. And they're not going to be all that friendly because that's their normal cycle, is to sleep. And so they like a lot of attention, so people who are around during the day and have time to spend with them, and they do. They're very social animals. They're flock birds. And they're used to having a lot of interaction. You can't just stick them in a cage, forget about them, and think, oh, okay, they're going to be fine. You know, they'll be happy. They won't. They'll be very unhappy. They'll start to exhibit some dysfunctional behaviors like self-mutilation and feather plucking or screaming or other kind of crazy head motions and stuff. So, you know, it is a lifetime commitment. A lot of them live 80, 90, 100 years. And so it's not something you can just think, well, you know, like a gecko or whatever is going to die in 5 years. It's not. It's going to live a long time, especially if you take good care of it. You know, you have to really think carefully when you take a bird in, because taking them in and bringing them into your life and into your family, they get very attached to you, and then if you let go of them and you have to rehome them, they have that same kind of detachment that goes on with like kids, real human kids. And so they can get a little dysfunctional if they've been rehomed too many times.
This is Kevin, and Kevin is a scarlet macaw, which is in the parrot family. He is about 4 years old, so quite young as macaws go, because in captivity they can live to be, I've read up to 100 years old, so he's very young. And we got him about 2 years ago. His original owner couldn't keep him, and my son just found an ad on Craigslist, and the lady wanted you to write in why you thought you should have the bird, so he wrote this little essay, and we got the bird for free. Oh, wow. She was giving him away. So he's oh, all right. He's missing one wing, and he's actually blind in this eye. And the story is that when the breeder that he came from, a dog attacked him and mangled his wing, and so they amputated it. But he's also blind on that side, so he tends to show his better side. They're very smart, and he's overcome his obstacles, you know, the fact that he can't see and he can't fly, and he's very dependent on me, you know, or our family for his food and his water, but he actually leads a really good life. Like, you would think, oh, he's blind and he has one wing and you know, how can that be a good life? But we don't have a cage at our house, so he's never been in a cage. So we have fashioned these perches around some of the trees in our yard, and he lives outside all day, in the trees, in the mango trees. He's already been in quite a few magazines. Really? Yeah, yeah. And believe it or not, like, birds, they're very smart and they can actually be affectionate. Like, he actually likes to cuddle, and yeah. So how pretty you are. Let me see your pretty wing. You gonna do it?
My name is Cameron Datanagan. Our mission is to get the kids off the computers and into the yard with animals. But once we get them outside, our new mission is look up, look at the stars, look at the birds, and look at the rainbows, because everybody's looking down at the phones, at the iPads. Well, our initial thing that really happened is way back when there was a big earthquake, island-wide blackout, and no electricity. The kids was bored. I told my children, go outside and play. And they said, do what? I have 2 children, and they said, do what? I said, go outside, play. I gave them a stick and a ball, and they honestly didn't know what to do. And that's on me, because I didn't make them go outside. I was sheltering them, just say, stay inside the house, watch your iPad, watch your TV. That made me realize that it's my responsibility to teach them to have fun. So ever since then, we brought them outside. I had pigeons all my life, so we had added chickens and rabbits, odd pheasants. So we, as a family, go outside and do all the yard work for half an hour, for an hour, and that is quality time.
Hi, I'm Melissa, and this is a 12-week African Gray, and we are here at Hawaii Pet Expo 2015. It's very important at about this age, 3 months, to socialize these birds. Getting them around as many people as possible, other birds. You basically want to bomb-proof your bird so that any situation, they can handle it. It reduces stress on the bird and it makes them emotionally stable. Right, baby? This bird actually belongs to Bruce the bird guy. He brought two of his babies today, and we're just helping him socialize the birds. I know. Wrong choice of bird. All right.